Hey class, my name is Jesse, and this is my video on biosocial theory for Kimberly Masnick. Biosocial theory is an interdisciplinary approach that explains human behavior, development, and social structures by integrating biological and social factors. This theory suggests that biological predispositions interact with environmental influences to shape individual behaviors, personality traits, and even societal trends. Biosocial theory also links different sciences, such as neurology, psychiatry, genetics, evolutionary psychology, to explain the underlying causes of crime. Although many current criminal justice criminology degrees de-emphasize the role of biology in crime because of associations to actions like eugenics, sterilizations, and institutionalism. Now, human behavior is not solely determined by genetics or environment. Instead, both factors work together to influence this development. Genetics, neurobiology, hormones, and evolution contribute to physical and psychological traits that affect your behavior. Differences in aggression, intelligence, and temperament can have a genetic or neurochemical basis. Now, social influences such as family, education, peer groups, they all shape these biological tendencies that manifest behavior. Societal norms also influence how people act based on their biological drives. Brain structure and neurotransmitters, for example, dopamine and serotonin, influence emotions, decision-making, and social behavior. And there are several different applications of biosocial theory. Criminology, it explains criminal behavior as we went over. Psychology examines mental health disorders through genetic vulnerabilities and environmental stressors. Sociology investigates how biological traits influence social structures and relationships. And last but not least, education studies learning abilities based on both cognitive functions and social settings. Now, a good example of biosocial theory would be low resting heart rate. This has been found to be a predictor of antisocial behavior and crime commission. Boisfort found that individuals with low resting heart rates were significantly more likely to engage in stalking behavior. Farrington found that low resting heart rate at age 18 was significantly related to violence convictions through ages 10 through 20 and 21 through 39. Athletes have low resting heart rates due to the nature of their training and cardio. Males in general have lower resting heart rates than females. I believe the biosocial theory does do a good job in covering most intricacies surrounding the issue of race and bias in the justice system due to a couple facts. Biosocial theory can help explain how implicit bias develops in individuals, including law enforcement officers, through both biological and social influences. Studies on the brain's amygdala suggest that unconscious fear responses to certain racial groups may be socially conditioned over time. Biosocial theory recognizes that chronic stress, poverty, and trauma, which disproportionately affect marginalized communities, can impact brain development and behavior, sometimes leading to an increase of crime rates. It's not about race itself, but more so tied to social conditions that lead to racial disparities. Now, biosocial theory does have some limitations. It ignores structural and institutional factors. Systematic racism, discriminatory policies, and historical inequalities are social constructs, not biological factors. Laws, policing strategies, including stop and frisk, and judicial biases that disproportionately target racial minorities cannot be reduced to biosocial explanations. Historically, biological explanations for behavior have been misused to justify racial discrimination. If not applied carefully, biosocial theory risks reinforcing racial stereotypes by overemphasizing biological factors in crime, ignoring social causes like poverty, education gaps, and over-policing. Biosocial theory does not address implicit bias in legal decision-making. Bias in jury selection, sentencing disparities, and harsher punishments for minority defendants are rooted in prejudice and institutional norms, not just an individual cognitive process. Sociological theories, for example, critical race theory, are more effective at explaining how racism is embedded in legal systems and policies. In conclusion, biosocial theory does a partially good job. It helps explain some individual and environmental influences on behavior, but it falls short of capturing the full scope of racial bias as a systematic issue. While biosocial theory can contribute to understanding crime patterns and behavioral tendencies, addressing racial bias in the justice system requires a broader sociopolitical approach that includes historical, legal, policy-based analysis,